Hello again. It is always a pleasure to talk to you all. And you feed me with all these great responses here. I really appreciate it. I apologize if I can't get these out in a real timely manner, but I'm still seeing people, so I'm overwhelmed with that. And I like to have a little R&R time, kick my feet back a little bit if I can, but it's been kind of hard here in the last few years. But I want to try to catch up today, and that way we're all caught up, and then next week we can start fresh here and some new things. I apologize that we're slow to get these videos on. I think he's about 4 videos behind right now, and we're just slamming in here, and it's we're in a small little place, and so bear with us, and we'll get it up as quick as we can here. So I apologize for that. These guys just can't keep up with an old guy like me. But let me go through here and cover some of your things, because I really want to make sure that you all, and from what the feedback I'm getting from some of your questions and answers, you guys are really getting it, and I'm happy to see that. Who was that? I had, wearing the robe guy. Oh, what was your name, man? Really wear the robe. I mean, you got to take things on, I had a lady in yesterday, and she's trying to follow 4 or 5 practitioners at the same time, and they all differ, and she just doesn't want to get up and do the high-level detox that it takes. And that's just, you're not going anywhere. And you're going to always hear that from me, because I've sat here with lots and lots of people through lots of years, and there's only one way I see that it can be done. I see a lot of people trying all kinds of things. I think most of you realize that, people just try just about everything that's out there. Matter of fact, that brings me to one here that her naturopath told her that she was highly deficient in all these nutrients, and he loaded her down and gave her some intravenous, that scares me, slingshot mega nutrients, and I always thought, I'll come over here, it is, I think it is, and one of them, I'll find it, but that was the thinking way back in the dark ages. There's a lot of things, and I think if you'll read my books, you'll find that there's 4 processes that's essential to well-being, and it's just all common sense. The first process to nutrition, obviously, is to consume it. Obviously, you have to change your diet. But with that said, even the sad American diet, there's some goodies there. So the first thing one has to do to be well is to digest his foods down. And we've been talking in our videos about eating simpler foods. That way it doesn't tax your body on breaking things down. And remember, we also talked about, if you look at the rest of the vertebrates on the planet, they're generally mono-eaters, particularly at one meal, but they don't roam too much out of their repertoire. I think a grizzly bear has 65% sage grass. He's got about 13 to 17% fruits, berries, and tubers and things, and then he's got about 7% meat, depending upon the age of the bear and that. And that was from National Geographic. I think when you get in primates, they're more focused, depending upon the trees available, the fruits, and the greens in some cases. We've pushed these beautiful mountain gorillas so far up that, the selection's getting difficult for these poor things, and, it's just the way we are here, push everybody else off. But someone asked me about moles. That's one of the questions that I have on my questionnaire. Do you have moles growing on your body? And that's part of the fungal family. You will see moles on an individual that has adrenal gland weakness, and they're having sugar metabolism problems. So, sweetheart, you're having sugar metabolism problems. That's your adrenal glands. and your body can't do starch. I mean, anything fermented is just going to feed these guys. And now that you got them on you, I would take Parasite MNG or something equivalent there for extended period of time until they start falling off, because they'll start falling off if you go on a parasitic formula. But I would also, of course, avoid the starches and really work on my adrenal glands. It's that simple. They're they'll grow all over you, like you're saying here, and that's common. Watch your blood sugar, because you're probably going to have a tendency to run low blood sugar, but as you get older it could go to type 2 or higher, hyperglycemia in other words, and then that's just the adrenal glands. So, but there's a lot of other things that come into play here, and so you want to kind of be aware of that. But I'm amazed at the people that don't know that. I mean, interesting. And another question here, Mike, is herpes and shingles, and of course shingles is just herpes attacking the myelin sheaths. Again, back to these vaccinations and back to the smallpox vaccination, which mutated into the herpes virus. Also, there's a great book called The Emerging Virus. I think that was Wallach, or I can't remember his name, but that's a good book on HIV and Ebola and things like this. We have such a, I don't know what, man, just, it's an interesting level. So I can say this, that a lot of people have went on raw foods and have tried to detoxify themselves, and with very little luck. And I can tell you that's why I like the herbs. I mean, I keep coming back to that, but I'll tell you something. Without our little sweethearts, that's we're going to be suffering, because the foods just don't have the power and the punch. Like someone was saying, the fear of hybriding these all these fruits and things, and that is a warranted fear. Anytime you hybrid, you keep weakening the strain, and of course this is why Monsanto is going crazy with trying to stop the onslaught of parasitic invasion of the weak. Well, you can't. That's nature. We should be strengthening strands in every way we can, just like we're talking about our offspring. It's essential to do that, and we have to break that, that concept that we can attack things and that we can weaken things, but then keep nature from attacking it. That kind of insanity, it's just unawareness, and it just has to change, But I would take an antiparasitic, even though this is a viral. I would still take a Parasite, which has antiviral properties, but get deeper into the lymph system and get your kidneys and adrenal glands on, and get yourself filtering better, and dig deeper. Sometimes it's going to require some of these deeper fasts, and like it or not. But that's kind of the fun of it, When you change this, then that becomes fun, because it's like, I only did 3 days this time, dang it! And then next time you try 5 or 6. You don't beat yourself up too much. But I kept pushing myself, because sometimes I just, I'm a male and a farm boy, and sometimes I just couldn't do the 5 or 10 days, and then sometimes I could do 20 or 30. So it was just all in, I don't know, all in the moment type stuff. But keep working on that herpes. We have a lot of people with herpes out there, and don't feel bad about it either. Genital or whatever, simplex. It's just the nature of the human race now. We're very toxic. We're breeding grounds. We offer great culturing mediums for the microbial world, and we weaken ourselves. So we're offered a viral field day, and the viral field day isn't as great. I don't care about the bacterial day. However, it's getting to that we're so toxic and cells are so weak that it can be a feeding frenzy out there for those guys, and of course that doesn't feel so good on us. Still, we have to go back and consider causative factors. And this shingles, man, it tells you that your myelin sheaths are weak, and that's hands down adrenal gland weakness. In genetic downlines of adrenal weaknesses, you can see it in your iris here. You get rings, like if you cut a tree and you see the age rings. Well, if you look deep in your eyes and get a flashlight, or go to an ophthalmologist and get a real up-close picture of the iris, not the pupil or retina, but the iris, Well, if you look deep in your eyes and get a flashlight or go to an ophthalmologist and get a real up close picture of the iris, not the pupil or retina, but the iris, you'll see rings in your eyes. And these rings are called nerve rings. And of course, anything weak's attacked, and that's what the job of a viral is. So you got to strengthen your adrenals, therefore the neurotransmitters come up. It'll in turn strengthen the myelin sheaths. I think it'll also do the new brain and nerve formula, give strength to that nervous system on top of that. At the same time, I'd be opening up that kidney, because with the adrenals comes the kidneys, and of course here's the lymph system. So I would work in that vein there. And while we're going on that vein of moving that lymph system, here was a good one that was written, was what was this? Acoustic neuroma. Let's see who wrote this one, because she's or he's getting Hollywood 103. Hey, Hollywood 103, man. Listen, everything is right-sided on you, and remember why? Because you have bilateral kidneys. You have a kidney and adrenal on each side of the body. One kidney can be weak over another one for sure. You can feel that, which side of your body stiffer, which side you're growing cysts or moles or tumors on. I think there was another one that was asking me about pus and always producing pus. Well, you're not always, you're producing acids at the cellular level. Your mucosa and your lymph system is that fluid of protection. So sometimes that fluid, is dealing with so much necrotic and acids and all the trash that it's coming out, and especially if you're a milk drinker or a dairy consumer and you're just putting this stuff in you. Drinking milk is drinking pus. Now, that might not sound too good to you, but drinking milk, eating cheese, eating ice cream is eating pus. And I'm telling you, those that have the acnes and rosaceas and all this, it just makes it worse. Now, so you've got to open up this can. You hit it right on the head. You've got the kidney, the adrenals. You've got to move that lymph and break down these tumors. It's benign now, but this is right back here in the 8th cranial area. You're going to see some equilibrium. You're going to see, some issues here, and you want to get that out of there, because that's still pressure, that's still acid, and you can still get, and that's also showing you what's going on locally. That isn't just an isolated benign tumor. It reflects a fluid that's head to toe in you. So that you hit it right on the head. That's what you got to get going. And a lot of times, and you also found this out, that a lot of times you don't know that you have tumors in you. A lot of people don't know that they're full of tumors. So I think getting into health should be a fun thing, and you don't worry about the small stuff, because you don't want anybody to start messing in here. You want to get that out and fix the causative factors, and you don't grow another one and it won't get bigger. And it can hyperstimulate nerve growth as well. So that was a real important question. I appreciate the question and appreciate the observation. you wouldn't have been alive 4 minutes after doing that. So no, that's not happening. When we have stomach cancers or peptic ulcers, someone asked me about, or any ulcerations where acids are chewing down the cells, we and of course you're not going to detoxify well on proteins anyway. We get you off of the complex foods. You notice we take you off of starches, we take you off of fats, and we take you off of protein. We take you off of complex foods. Your body doesn't need to waste the time. These are secondhand foods. These are foods that the body has to work too hard. And knowing today we have compromised pancreatic functions, compromised adrenal glands, Uh, yeah, if you're having allergy reactions, this is another thing. Baby and Earl, cute. You guys got some cute names. Uh, well, you know you can go slow with this. You all don't have to go fast. I'm just one of those guys that plows the field. Our clinic is, of course, a health clinic, and you're going to be noticing that we're converting this to a health club, a private health club, and you're all welcome to be members free. Uh, we're a health club. We want to change the focus because there's, everybody's always thinking about diseases and treating diseases. We are a health club. We're about health. Our focus is about health. We think diseases are man-made, illusionary concepts of allopathic thinking that have no basis in reality or truth. Because all your body is a bunch of cells, two fluids, and there's only two sides of chemistry. Sure, you're going to see mutation. Sure, you're going to see tumors and inflammation. Sure, you're going to see different symptoms from that. Okay. Location, location, location. Okay. But the root cause is always the same. And if we keep addressing the symptoms, too many people are getting hurt. People are getting slaughtered. Babies are dying. That's got to stop. Got to stop. The people's about had it. And these things have got to stop. So if you're having an allergic reaction to the herbs, go slow. Go half dosages, quarter dosages. Don't do them and do the diet first. Some people are so bad in their lymph systems and their kidneys that we have to do the diet before we can introduce the herbs. Well, it's okay. Just go slow. We'll work you through that, and then you'll be able to take the herbs, and then you'll be able to go right on down the road as you get better and better and better and better and better. It's okay. I mean, you're all waking up to more reality, and it's like, ooh, where am I on this road, And unfortunately, some people are, down the road a little bit. So, it's okay. You just back up and come on down the right road. That's all it is. You'll be okay. The RA thing here, Dan's coming. I don't know if it's on there yet, but it's coming there to you. I did that, I think, yesterday there. Schizophrenia, I'm going to address that next week. But same thing, and detox, hit all your endocrine glands and get on a ride spiritually. I can tell you that. But get on your adrenals and your thyroid. Hit up the calcium utilization and the adrenals, your neurotransmitters. And as you clean all the brain pathways, clean everything up, you're going to be great. A lot of this isn't as bad as you think. So don't identify with these sort of things. Just keep detoxifying the body. But I'll address, because I've had a couple of those questions, I'll address them next week for you and help you out. This is from Germany. But to keep moving with this body, too bad we can't get the herbs to you over there. I think when Germany signed the Codex thing, There's no such thing as autoimmune problems. If a medical doctor says you have an autoimmune problem, that means he hasn't got a clue what's causing this. It's that simple. There's no such thing. Everything has a causative factor within chemistry and within the two fluids and within the cells. There's no such thing as your body doing something for nothing. That means everybody's body's doing what God didn't want them to do, and they're all having autoimmune problems. This stuff is idiotic. It's almost like, okay, next. So, really, what's going on here? You have a weakness in these tissues. So you want to now, after you get her weaned, you can take off on yourself and detoxify yourself more aggressively. But you know she's going to have a bit of a thyroid herself, and you also know that she's going to have some kidney and adrenals big time. So what you're going to do is, by putting her on these fruits and fresh fruits and stuff, and coconut milks and stuff, you're going to super enhance her brain and nerve system. You're going to really build some good strong muscles, and it won't be fat, and you're really going to have a great child there. We have a lot of children raised on raw, and it's just phenomenal. I've had to get even 1 year Yeah, most mom and dad develop diabetes. Wow, wow, wow. And they passed in 45 and 50. I, I think more people pass from the treatment of things as opposed to things, because I can't imagine anybody passing from diabetes. It's the easiest thing on the planet to cure almost, except when you're type 1, you're brittle, or maybe it's a neurological and you're really working on some real neurological weaknesses from birth with the adrenals and maybe the CNS. Yeah, I mean, it takes work sometimes, but to pass from stuff like that just freaks me out. It's like dying from pneumonia. I get in here triple pneumonia. Nobody dies in here from pneumonia. I never, I remember once I was on the cardiac floor and I was looking at some heart monitors and looking over this room, and here's this RN trying to give this man a milkshake and an LPN suction him. The guy was rocking with so much mucus, and the LPN was trying to suction him, and the RN was saying, Mr. Jim, you've got to drink your milkshake. I almost hollered, well, you're going to kill him. I mean, oh my God. I mean, this is insane stupidity, especially now. This is the 21st century. So, yeah, sorry to hear about all that stuff. You get plenty of amino acids. If you think of protein as amino acids, I would lose autoimmune. I would lose protein in my thinking. I would lose some of these things like that. I'm going to have to finish this up. And I'm almost done, but I'm going to have to finish this up real quick. The same lady here, she asked me about vinegar and baking soda and lemon juice for veggie wash. I like hydrogen peroxide. I don't think vinegar's good. I don't know. I like hydrogen peroxide, but maybe. A lot of people use soaps and bleach. Oh no, that's not good. But anyway, thank you all. You are great, great, great people, great souls. I really enjoy talking to you and working with you. I love your feedback. You all have fun this weekend and be in the now. Just take all weekend and practice in the now. If you want to take a trip out of body, go somewhere. Put yourself somewhere. Lay this body down in ultimate peace. Lay it down and just totally relax and picture yourself somewhere else. Put yourself somewhere you love, somewhere you enjoy, and be there. Be there as much as there as you can until you pop out and you're there. And that's just what it takes, even if you start looking down at yourself from the ceiling. But you have to relax your physical body and realize you're separate than that body. You're just stuck in here because of your attention. And some people have fear to get away from it. It's like, well, so have fun, have some OBEs, and have a lot of fruit. All righty, and berries too. And I'll have a lot of watermelon with it. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye now.